So today we're going to be going over 10 of the most popular designer fragrance brands, and we're also going to be covering some of their best fragrances from each brand. So in a way, you can kind of think of this as like a buying guide for a lot of the top designer brands out there. Essentially, no matter where you go in the community, you're going to hear basically each and every one of these talked about, both the brands and also the fragrances that I've chosen along with them. Whether you're on the cheapy side of the community, on the niche snob side of the community, you're going to hear these talked about. They may be talked about in different ways, whether it be love and praise or hate and disgust, but the point is you're going to hear about them. And if you're not a niche snob, you're a normal person who wants to build up a solid collection of affordable fragrances that smell good to people around you, then this video is going to come in handy. Because for me, these 10 brands here are some of the essential brands that you should be looking at to build up your collection, and these fragrances within these brands are also quite essential that you should highly consider. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff to cover here, 10 brands and way more than 10 fragrances. We're going to run through this quick so this doesn't get going too long here, and well, let's just hit it. First up, the almighty brand of Dior has to be in here. Of course, this is one of the top brands out there. They make absolutely incredible fragrances, from the smell to the quality and a lot of times to the performance as well. We have two fragrances here, but really they're representing two fragrance lines. First one being Sauvage, obviously. The second one being the Dior Homme lineup. This is Dior Homme Intense, but you get the point. This one, in my opinion, I mean, it's a great fragrance that most people out there should own if you know what you're into. If you want something that's going to be perhaps a bit more of a challenge for you, great wintertime scent. Definitely one to consider, but you could also definitely put Dior Homme 2020 here to kind of head the Dior Homme line if you wanted to, and then of course Sauvage Eau de Toilette over here. Some of the fragrances from the Sauvage lineup are definitely worth considering. Maybe not so much the Eau de Toilette if you're not into it, but the Parfum and yes, even the Elixir are two great fragrances. The Elixir is much more expensive, unfortunately, especially given the bottle size, but the Parfum is a great one. The EDP is great. They're all really good. It just depends on what you're after. Same with the Dior Homme lineup. They have a fragrance for everyone in this line. Whether you want something fresh, something citrusy, something super heavy and sweet, they have it all. Dior Homme Parfum, Dior Homme 2020, Dior Homme Cologne, it covers everything. Next up, we have the prestigious brand of Chanel, as I juggle these bottles around into the correct order here. So essentially we've got two lines and then one standalone fragrance. Got the Bleu de Chanel lineup. This is the Eau de Toilette, but the whole lineup is stunning. We have the Allure Homme lineup. This is the original, where it all started, but Allure Homme Sport, Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme, Edition Blanche, all top-notch scents, and the kind of standalone Platinum Egoiste. I mean, I guess there is the original Egoiste as well, and that's also a really good fragrance, but just kind of showing off Platinum here, because for me, this is amazing. And I just gave away one of these on my YouTube stories. Not this one, I'm already shipping off the giveaway, but I did give away one of these. And so if you want to participate in these giveaways here on the channel, I do one every single week basically on my YouTube stories. Get subscribed, make sure you're tuning in to the stories and these videos. I do giveaways all the time because you guys are awesome and you deserve it. So make sure you get subscribed. We're giving away cool stuff. But essentially talking about these two fragrance lines here, definitely ones that you should consider. You see how I almost dropped that? Good thing there's carpet in here, right? So, you know, these are just fantastic. The price tag is not welcoming. These are expensive and they're usually not on discounters unless you pay more than retail price on discounters a lot of times or right at it. So basically just go to Chanel's website and buy these. It's the best way to do it. You get fancy packaging, it makes you feel cool, that sort of thing. But definitely consider both of these lines. You don't have to own every fragrance from every line. Do some sampling, pick and choose your favorites and pick them up because these are amazing. Next up, we have the brand of Armani. So we've got Armani Code, the lineup here. This one's Absolute because it's my absolutely favorite out of the line. We have Acqua di Gio lineup, Profumo, because that's one of my babies, one of my main favorites from the lineup. And I'm going to cheat a little bit with this one and just kind of throw it in there. Stronger With You. This is technically Emporio Armani, I get it, but it's still Armani. So just for the sake of not putting Giorgio Armani and Emporio Armani in the video, taking up two spots, we're just going to combine them here. All of these lineups are incredibly important, and all of them I think are worth looking into, especially these two. Stronger With You is great. They have a lot of great ones. Intensely, which is this here, is really good. The new Absolutely is probably my favorite. It's just harder to find right now. They're great, but they may not be quite for everyone as much as these two here, simply because you got a lot more to choose from with these two lines. If you want something vanilla heavy and sweet, go with Absolute. If you want something fresh and kind of blue inspired, go with Colonia. The list goes on. They have a lot of different ones here for Code. And same with Acqua di Gio. If you just want an aquatic, go with the original. If you want an aquatic with some smoky nighttime depth, go with Profumo. And if you want probably one of the most unique and eye-opening, just different aquatics out there on the market, go with Profondo. It's got a very nice mineral water smell. It's top-notch. These two lineups here are incredibly important, and you got to look into these and own at least one from each because they are killer. Next up, we have the wonderful brand of Prada. We've got Prada L'Homme. The entire lineup is really good. The original and Intense especially are incredible fragrances. The Intense is probably my favorite in terms of smell, but the original is hard to beat in terms of its sheer wearability and versatility, and I guess compliment factor for that matter. Then next up we have the Prada Amber line, which is 2 fragrances. I want to include it anyway though. Prada Amber Pour Homme and Pour Homme Intense. Between the two, I prefer the Intense in terms of smell, but it's a similar thing. It's hard to beat the original in terms of soapy, clean, fresh, high-end smell. So great fragrances. And then finally, we have the Luna Rossa line. This is carbon, the Sauvage clone, much more affordable, about half the price of Sauvage, and it's a bit more smooth, well-rounded, and a bit more sweet. Really great fragrance here, but the whole carbon lineup, or the whole Luna Rossa lineup is great. Luna Rossa Black, amazing. Luna Rossa Sport, also really good. They have some great ones there. All of these Pradas are amazing and definitely worth picking up. Next up, we have the brand of Versace. And I've said this before, but they, to me, are one of the kings of the mid-range designer pricing. And what I mean by that is around $50. Most of their fragrances, once they hit discounters, and they've been at discounters for a while, will fall in that $40 to $50 range, sometimes a bit more depending on the fragrance to some extent and also the bottle size. Like I think Versace Oud Noir might be a bit more expensive than, for example, Versace Pour Homme. But this line here, Pour Homme, Dylan Blue, and Oud Noir are 1000% worth looking into, especially Pour Homme and especially Dylan Blue. Great fragrances for the price, and they do come around that $40 to $50 price point. Then next up, we have Eros. This is the Parfum, and it's not $40 to $50 yet, but it'll fall somewhere around there-ish at some point. Now, at retail, this is more expensive than the others at retail. So, Parfum at retail is more expensive than Versace, Eros, EDT, and EDP, and Flame at retail. So this may not quite touch the price of the others at discounters, but it's still going to be close. Personally, and this is just me, but I'm happy with my retail price purchase of this one. And I would say if you are an Eros fan, you may not be upset about paying retail for it. This link will be dropped down below if you want to grab one for yourself. It's really good. The Parfum is my favorite from the lineup now. At first it was the EDP when that came out over the EDT, and now I like this over the EDP and the EDT in Flame. The Parfum's a bit more creamy and rich, and it's a great flanker. Awesome stuff, but regardless, these two lineups are 100% worth looking into and owning in your collection. Next up, we have the brand of Givenchy. So we got 2 lines here, basically. We've got the Gentleman line, but this is also going to cover the Gentleman Only line. So there's technically 2 separate lines, even though they kind of share a same name in the same bottle. This is the Givenchy Gentleman lineup. So it's Gentleman Eau de Parfum. They have Gentleman Eau de Parfum Boisé, Gentleman Eau de Toilette Intense, and the original Gentleman from 2017. That's kind of that lineup. And then they also have Gentleman Only, where they have Gentleman Only Absolute, just Gentleman Only Eau Fresh or something, which I believe is discontinued. You get the point. There's a few other ones, but I'm going to cover both of those lineups in one here, just so I don't have to hold up more bottles. And then also Givenchy Pie. Great fragrance and great lineup. Pie and Pie Air, I believe is what it is. Blue bottle. Yep, Pie Air are 2 fantastic ones. Pie Air is a bit more fresh, a bit more floral, but it still has that dusty benzoin thing going on, which makes it smell amazing. But the original Pie also is an incredible vanilla scent with a bit of a dustiness, powderiness, but also still to this day kind of a modern, masculine men's smell. It came out in 1999. and it still smells great. These two fragrances here are affordable, and they are definitely worth it. Next up, we have the almighty brand of Yves Saint Laurent. This probably should have been featured earlier on. We're not going in any order, but I'm sure a lot of you guys were wondering when this brand was going to pop up, because they for sure have some of the biggest men's fragrances in their portfolio ever on the market. They have done some incredible stuff. So we've got two lines here and one more that I'll cover in a second. And essentially this could have been put together as well, but we've got the L'Homme line and the La Nuit de L'Homme line. So it's kind of like the Givenchy gentleman only versus gentleman thing, except not really. They're, you know, essentially flankers are basing off of this, but a lot of them go in a different direction. And flankers are being based off of this, but they're also going in a different direction a lot of the times. But that's just kind of how they are classified here. Both of these, in my opinion, just flankers aside, these two here, L'Homme, La Nuit de L'Homme, are worth owning, in my opinion. You know how to buy 200 mils. You don't even have to buy 100 mils. For La Nuit de L'Homme, it could be used specifically as a date night fragrance. You may not need 100 mils of that unless you're going on a date every night, which good for you. If you're not, you may not need 100 mil. You can save some money there. The original L'Homme, people will say that it's probably not worth it anymore. A lot of the reason's going to be performance. Well, this is an old bottle. This is a 2012 bottle. It's not like, you know, super vintage like when it first came out, but it's an older bottle. Guess what? Not a beast mode scent. So don't listen to the people saying not to buy this because of performance, because it was never a beast mode performance scent. That's not what it's supposed to be. Now, if you want to argue that there are just better things out there, sure, that's personal preference, that sort of thing, but don't buy this because of performance, whether it's good or bad. That's just silly because it was never a good performer. Buy it if you want something that's super gentlemanly smelling, super classy. For me, it's a very special scent. I will always own a bottle. I wear it often. This is my second backup bottle. I have another one that's basically full as well that I've recently purchased, so I'm always going to have this stuff. To me, it's still worth a pickup, but that's up to you. A lot of the flankers in the La Nuit de L'Homme and L'Homme line are great as well. I'm not going to cover all of them here because this video will get too long, but the new Bleu Electrique, absolutely incredible. And then one more line that, of course, we can't leave out, the Y lineup. EDT, EDP, Live, Parfum, Eau Fresh. So they've got a healthy amount of them now. For me, the Eau de Parfum and the Parfum are my two favorites. This new Parfum is really, really good. I love it. It's a bit more smooth, even though the original Eau de Parfum is smooth. This one's kind of another step in that direction. It smells absolutely great. Apple, amberwood, lavender, sage. It's a compliment monster. It's a great scent, massive performer. This and the EDP are two that you should own, or at least look into. Next up, we have Paco Rabanne. Pure XS and Pure XS Night are fantastic. Now, I understand this is a flanker as well. There's the original Pure XS, or the original XS, sorry. They have like XS Potion, which I have, XS something else, which I featured in a summer video. I can't even remember what it's called, but that was great as well. They have some other ones. They're not all as good as Pure XS and Pure XS Night. I think these two here are worth owning. And also, if you want Invictus, you know, if you like it, then go for it. But to me, that's kind of really some of the best Paco Rabanne has right now, because they discontinued 1 Million Privé. That was one of the best fragrances they had. You can't get it anymore, so I'm not going to feature it. Silly for them, but it is what it is. This is some of their best work at the time of this video. Running down to the end of this massive list of designer heavy hitters here. This table has some major heavy hitters, and as you guys have seen throughout the video, we're spitting some straight up monster fragrances here. So make sure you hit the links up down below and pick up some of these for your collection, because you basically got to get them. Dolce & Gabbana, we have the One lineup and we have the Light Blue lineup. So the One Eau de Parfum, similar argument with performance, so I'm not going to get into it. The One Gray is also really good for like an everyday work scent. Those are kind of the two main ones. They have like Royal Night, which is great. They have Luminous Night, which is really good, but it's hard to find. So if you can grab some of those, they're awesome pickups as well. And of course, the Light Blue lineup, Forever, currently the best flanker out there, in my opinion. Another one that's worth retail price for me. I'm not upset about this at all. In fact, I'm super glad that I got it when I did, when it first came out. It's incredible. But also Light Blue Eau Intense is really good. Even the original Light Blue still holds up. Couple huge fragrance lineups here for sure that you gotta at least be familiar with. And last up we have Ferragamo, which is kind of a cheapy brand. looking at this here, we really didn't have any cheapy brands in here, but this is one, kind of. So we've got F Black, $20 to $30, Beast Mode, wintertime, black pepper, lavender fragrance, black pepper, lavender, and something else. So tonka bean maybe. Great scent. I love this stuff. It's really good, even though it is affordable. People may not think it's going to be that great, but it is. So that one's really good. The Uomo lineup, the whole line is really good. Uomo and Uomo Signature are two of the best ones, but even Urban Feel, even Casual Life still smell great. They work great. Great compliment getters, that sort of thing. Must own. And also the Acqua Essenziale line. Colonia and Colonia Blue, or I'm sorry, Colonia and Acqua Essenziale Blue are two fantastic ones. And like I mentioned, affordable. This is probably one of the better, cheaper brands out there that's also still pretty big. Obviously, Nautica is one that could have been in this video, but obviously Nautica is one that could have been in this video. Of course, I was going to miss some, only putting 10. So I can do a part 2 to this if you guys want. But that's what we have here. In my opinion, just some of the biggest, hottest brands out there right now and their current best fragrances from them. And remember, I will link all these down below, but I do want to hear from you. Which ones of these are your favorites? What are some other brands that I didn't feature that could be featured in the next video? And also, you know, if you want, you can become a channel member. I've been telling you guys this. Just become one. We're having a lot of fun in the group chat. We're having a lot of fun watching these videos in advance. You can watch some vlogs, other bonus content, access to voting on new video topics, all that sort of thing. So if you want to become a member, the join button will be down below. Thank you all so much for your support. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.